Hi, I'm Rachel Lynn, and I'm on a journey to get out of my student loan debt and lose some weight along the way. If any of that interests you, go ahead and click that red subscribe button down below and join me on this journey. Today I am joining in a collab video that Mary from A Merry Life on a Budget and Christianna from Well Behaved Wallet put together. They invited anybody to join in on this collab, and so I decided to do the same. They posed the question, why get out of debt? I came up with 5 major reasons why I personally want to get out of debt, and I would love to know from you, and if you want to make a video about this as well, then please do so and join in on the collab too. Make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know if you're going to join in, and if not, leave a comment down below and let me know why you want to get out of debt or why you think getting out of debt is a good thing. Let's go ahead and get into my reasons for getting out of debt. First of all, security. Knowing that no one's going to come after me, no one is going to hunt me down for bills. I just think that being out of debt would give me security. I am working hard to get out of my student loan debt, but before I even started, and actually right when I was about to start trying to get out of my student loan debt, I had realized that I had forgotten about them and I had not paid on my student loans in so long that they were actually about to garnish my wages. They did actually take my tax return and use that to apply towards my student loans, and I know that my wages were about to be garnished as well. Thankfully, I was able to put my loans into rehabilitation from student loan default and kind of like pause that process of them starting to take money from my check. But if I hadn't been in debt in the first place, then there's no bills to forget about, and there's no way that they can take money from me if I don't owe anything. And so security is a huge thing for me, because being in debt, I don't feel secure. I feel like almost at any moment they could just be like, well, we want our money back, so give it to us now, and I'll have to pay all that money back. And I know that that's very unlikely, but it's kind of a possibility just because I do owe them money, and it's long overdue because I spent so many years not paying anything towards it. Just knowing that all of the money that I make right now, part of it is not mine, just is very insecure to me. This next one, it kind of has like multiple parts, but being out of debt gives you options. Now, I will argue that just budgeting alone gives you options, because I left my last teaching job. It was not a right fit for me anymore, and I decided to leave to pursue another job in another area or just in another school. And if I had not been budgeting, that wouldn't be an option. I wouldn't have the extra money put back for things like that. It just so happens that the month of May, while it is also the last month of school, is also a huge income month for me, because I do actually have a couple of extra side hustles, and May is one of those where I earn a lot of extra money. I work the Kentucky Derby, and that is a huge money maker for me, and so I was able to budget my money well and put that money aside instead of putting it towards debt like I would have. I was able to hold on to it just from budgeting. However, I'm now more in debt than I was a couple of months ago because my minimum payments don't cover the interest. So even though budgeting alone gives me options, if I didn't have that payment at all, I would have way more options than I do now. And going along with that, not having debt allows you to do the things that you want to do. Do you want to go on vacation? Do you want to go out to eat a little bit more often? Do you want to buy something at the store just because it looks fun? With debt and extra payments that you have to make regularly, you have less money to do these fun things. I'm lumping this one in with more options because, of course, you know, having the option to go on vacation or eat out or just buy things that you want at the store, those are options that are kind of closed off to you because you have extra payments. Another big reason for me for getting out of debt is giving to others. I currently give less money to my church than I want to because I owe money to somebody else. I feel like I have to pay back my debts first before I give as much as I want to my church. When I go out to eat or any type of service that is provided to me, I like to tip generously. Now, I try to make sure that I always leave a very nice tip wherever it is, but honestly, I actually avoid a lot of situations that involve me tipping. Instead of going out to eat in a nicer restaurant, I'm going to choose something that's like fast food where I don't have to tip somebody, so that I can kind of avoid that. Now, I'm never going to stiff anybody or even leave a terrible tip, because I have worked in that industry before, and I just know how little servers make, and so I would never do that to somebody, but I do avoid those situations where I have to tip in the first place. I also don't really tip as much as I would like to. I am a standard 20% tipper, but I would love to be one of those people that just tips $100 for, you know, a $10 order, just because. Seeing people in need, whether it's family, friends, people here on YouTube, I'd love to help other people here out. I watch a lot of teachers and new teachers, and I would love to help them out with their new classrooms. I see a lot of other people here on YouTube that are trying to get out of debt, and I wish that I could help you, and even just strangers that are in need. I cannot give and I cannot help as much as I want to, at least financially, because I don't have the resources for it. All that money has to go to somebody else that already has a stake on that money before I can give it away to other people and help other people. Another reason why I want to get out of debt is because I am so sick and tired of paying extra. You pay so much more in interest when you owe money. I spent years in credit card debt and even longer in student loan debt, and I can't even imagine how much interest I've paid over that time. My credit cards were maxed out for years at like 28% interest, and oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about the amount of interest that I paid on that. I had car debt for 5 years. I paid on my car, and I have no idea how much interest I paid on that either. I don't even know what the interest rate was because I was so desperate for a car. There was a situation, and it was a terrible financial mistake of mine, but I ended up losing a car and I had to get another one, and the only way to do that was to get one on loan, and then that was a big debacle because I didn't really have very good credit at the time, and so my interest rate I know was higher and I owed more for it, and they actually would not allow me to get a cheaper car because of my credit. Now, I'm not entirely sure why that is. My dad explained it to me, but I mean, that was years ago. I can't really remember. But I actually tried to get a $6,000 car on credit, but they wouldn't let me because I had to get something more expensive. So I think it had to do with liability. Like if they had to reclaim the car, a more expensive car is easier to sell. I think that's what it was. But even that cost me more money because of being in debt and not treating my money well. I was stuck with a car, and I still have no idea what the interest rate was. So I paid a lot of extra money in interest on this car that I spent years paying. Had I not gone into debt for that car would have cost $12,000, boom, right there. Probably, maybe even could have saved a little bit of money, and actually I probably could have saved a lot of money because I would have been able to get the $6,000 car that I wanted instead of the $12,000 car. So that would have saved me a lot of money, plus a lot of interest, and yeah, so having debt costs a lot more. Thankfully, the only debt that I have left is my student loans. However, my student loans have literally doubled in size since I first got them. Now, I did not pay off my debt well. I went into income-based repayment and always owed $0, and I spent years not paying anything on my student loans. So that's kind of how I ended up at doubling the amount of money that I owed, but still, it cost me twice as much money to go to school as it really should have. Plus, I even took out more money to kind of live on than I actually needed to pay for school. So if I had just paid for school outright, then I would have owed less. I wouldn't have owed anything because I would have paid it outright. I would have paid less in interest. I would have paid less overall to go to school. And if I had been adamant about not going into debt, I might not have even gone back to get my master's, and that debt would not be on my shoulders at all had I done it the right way. When I originally came up with how debt costs you a lot more, I was really referring to interest. But now that I've really dove into my car situation and my student loans and how I've paid extra, like, just having to go into debt has actually cost me more money, not even including the interest. I'm like shocked here. Yeah, you owe more money when you're in debt. And the last one for me is being in debt steals from your future. I am not currently investing in retirement or in the stock market or in any of those things that I would love to be investing in and earning more money for my future and for retirement. But I'm not doing any of that right now. Now, when I did have my last job, I was contributing to my 401k up to the match, but I was literally putting 2% in. 2%, because that was the match. I didn't take the half match, and I kind of feel like I should have, but that would have meant less money in my paychecks, which meant less money to pay off debt, less money to live on, and it limited my options. You know, going back to, what was that, number 2, I think? So I wasn't able to take the half match, and I just have like a tiny little bit of stash in my 401k when it should be much bigger, and I can't invest in any other ways either. Now, I could actually start investing right now, but even if I took all the money that I was putting extra at debt and put that to invest, then that means more interest that I'm paying on my student loans. That means being in debt longer. That means having fewer choices for a longer period of time. And just investing just a little bit, I've learned, can make a huge difference for the future thanks to compound interest. If I didn't have that $100 minimum payment on my student loans and I could take that $100 and invest it instead, that would make a huge difference for my future. And right now, that $100 is stealing from my future. These are 5 of the major reasons why I want to get out of debt. Of course, there are more reasons, and I'm sure that you have your own reasons why you might want to get out of debt. So go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what those reasons are, or if you are participating in the collab, let me know that you are doing that so that I can check out your video. Also, if you have not already seen Mary and Christianna's videos, please go check their videos out. I will link them down below in the description. And of course, don't forget to like this video and subscribe and share and all of that stuff. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.